Hello and welcome to the second session on the data analytics. Today let me begin the session with a story of a Hollywood movie. If you recall, in 2001, A Beautiful Mind won an Oscar. Now this film is based on the life story of John Nash, who won the Nobel Prize in mathematics, and in this film the character was portrayed by Russell Crowe. In one of the scenes it was shown that John Nash is trying to crack an encrypted telecommunication message by looking for patterns in the newspapers and in the magazines to uncover a Soviet plan. Now this film uses a lot of mathematical references, but if you ignore those mathematical references for a while, I find this scene is the most powerful and the most chilling scene. This is possibly because how easily and how effortlessly John Nash tries to connect the dots between the text and the hidden numbers around him. This illustrates the power and the dynamism of the data visualization. What do you think about this quotation which you saw just now? Isn't it interesting? A picture is worth 1,000 words. Probably this is very much true in this today's information rich environment. Making sense of large quantities by using data visualization is a way of communicating at all levels of decision making. It can reveal surprising information patterns and relationships. Let us see how the data visualization is used in the government. Today, the use of data visualization is growing rapidly. The use of data in everything from performance measurement to forecasting to database reports have been emphasized by the governments for some time. So what is new in analytics is the emphasis on more sophisticated data analytics and data modeling, searching for patterns in data, and use of data warehouses and data mining by the government managers looking for ways to answer increasingly difficult and more complicated kinds of questions. Even with these more sophisticated means of analysis, government is still having the challenge of explaining issues and the results to the decision makers and to the public, and that is where the data visualization comes in. Numbers and patterns can be more readily grasped in graphic visualization, particularly when interactive. And data visualization can help the citizens to understand the data and the data analysis more readily through the graphic presentations. It's a tool to connect the data with the citizens' engagement. Let's find it out what are the different data visualization techniques do we have. Basically, there are two types of techniques. One is static, the other one is interactive. The static ones are available in most of the spreadsheet software. In this case, static means that the users cannot manipulate the data to see for themselves what different pattern exists in the data. Whereas in the other one, which is interactive, the user can change the visualization format, the graphical format, add and delete the variables that needs to be plotted. So in one word, we can say the user has the control over the display. I am sharing some of the visualizations used by the government. Let us see the first one. It has been used by MHRD and it is all about new education policy. And it gives us the statistical information on various indicators, and it is an example of infographics. Let us look at the second one. It is on STI policy and it is all about the process diagram. 3 different stages and the sub activities under each are being shown through this infographic. The next one presents the food subsidy in various states, and it has been presented with the help of a bar chart. Well, we can present the same data in numbers also. We can also provide the percentage form. However, a graphical format is easier to understand for the masses. Let us look at the next one. Now this is a line chart and very easily we can see a trend. First decreasing and then increasing pattern. Like the previous graph, the numbers are also written on this graph. Now the next one is an area chart where the steel production is being shown in various years. It is also showing a comparison between the capacity and the actual production. Let's explore what makes data visualization an effective communication tool. If we have to really find out the traits and the characteristics, let us reflect on the previous slides, what we have seen just now. The first point could be, it should look interesting. So when we say it's interesting, which means it should be relevant, meaningful and beautiful. The second point is functional, which means the ease of use and the legibility of the graphical display is a major concern. And finally, integrity. Integrity means accuracy, truthfulness and consistency. Accuracy means the graphical display must show the accurate situation, and truthfulness means it should not be hiding or distorting any situation. We must remember that data visualization is all about revealing the truth. Therefore, there has to be some credibility in the content and they should be presentable also. Some more points on good visualization are being listed on my next slide. It induces the viewer to think about the substance rather than about the methodology or the technology or something else. Secondly, avoids distorting what the data have to say. Thirdly, presents many numbers in a small space. Fourth, make large data sets coherent. Next, it encourages the eye to compare different pieces of information or data. Next, it reveals the data at several levels of detail, from a broad overview to the fine structure, and it should be closely integrated with the statistical and the verbal descriptions of a data set. Data visualization is a part of exploratory data analytics, or in short form we call it EDA. Now, before we begin with EDA, it is crucial to ask two questions. Question 1, am I going to declare something? So, is it data driven, or am I going to explore something, like is it conceptual? For example, if you have to visualize the structure of your organization, it is a concept. It is also a qualitative information, but it can be visualized. However, if you wanted to show the number of schools are covered under the new education policy, or the number of villages that are being covered, it is data centric, it is statistics which can also be visualized. So, therefore, if you know the answer to these two questions, that is, one is about the nature and the second is about the purpose of your visualization, then you can plan for the resources and tools that you need and can decide what kind of visualization techniques will help you to achieve your goals. So, when you combine the nature and the purpose, it gives us a classic example of 2x2 quadrant, which you can see on your PowerPoint presentation. It has got 4 quadrants with 4 different names, and all the 4 quadrants have their own objectives, have their own requirement, and the tools are also different for each quadrant. For example, let us look at the first quadrant, which has been named as data driven and declarative. Now, the basic charts and the graphs we normally paste from a spreadsheet into our presentations can be used for this particular quadrant. These are usually the simple ones like bar chart, line chart, pie chart, scatter chart and etc. However, the other 3 quadrants are not so simple, they are quite complex in nature. Therefore, during the class discussion, we shall see the characteristics of the other 3 quadrants and what are the different visualization tools and techniques that are available for all of them. With that, we conclude our session. Thank you.